All right, here's today's Yom Yom. My father once expanded on Manishtana, the four questions we ask in the Seder. So if we remember, in Chabad, the order is a little bit different than most people. There is other groups that also do this, but by Chabad, we start off with dipping. Others start off with matzah. And why is this night different from all the other nights? Right? On this night, we dip. On this night, we dip. On this night, we eat matzah. On this night, we eat bitter herbs. On this night, we recline. Why? That's what the child is supposed to eat. That's how the Passover Seder begins, with these questions. Right? Why is this night different from other night? Okay, but the Rebbe explained it according to Chassidut a little bit different. Why is this night, not the night of Passover, the night is referring to the exile that we're in? Why is it that this exile that we're in now is different from all the other exiles that we were before, right? The Jewish people were in Egypt. The Jewish people went to Babylon, right? They were exiled in Babylon. How is this different from all the previous exiles, this 2,000-year exile that we've been since the Second Temple was destroyed? Because on all the other nights, we do not dip. Matbilim, what matbilim is to dip. Also, this for immersion, to go into water. Going into water is also, when you go into a mikveh, it refines a person. It's supposed to cleanse, purify. This is all of the other exiles we went into. We were not really purified, not even once. It wasn't completed in the earlier exiles in Egypt and Babylon, because they were followed by other exiles. But tonight, in this final exile, this 2,000-year exile since the temple was destroyed, this we dip twice. What it means, it'll purify also the body and the soul. On all other nights, we eat chametz or matzah. Following each one of the earlier exiles, our service of God involved the godly soul, which is matzah, and also the animal soul, which is indicated by chametz. But this night, after this last exile that we're in, all we eat is matzah. That's the only way we're going to look at the world and to act in the world is according to what's called our godly soul. There won't be any impurities in the world. The animal soul won't be active at all. On all the other nights, we good. So all the other nights we had chametz and matzah, but tonight only matzah. Matzah is the godly soul. It's humility. On all the other nights we eat all sorts of greens. It says there's jealousy. This is a very interesting one. A person that's jealous, he says his face turns green. That symbolizes envy, right? Green with envy, it says. Green with envy. It says during the exile, there was all sorts of envy. People were envious of another person's learning Torah, a person's wealth. But on this night, well, it's only going to be pure bitterness, bitter envy, the most intense sort of envy. Like it says in the Talmud, in the future, each tzaddik will be envied, will be scorched, and the envy of his fellow. You'll see the good that other people achieved, and you'll say, wow, I could have achieved that also. Why didn't I achieve that type of good? And a positive envy that makes us want to copy, to do more, to be like the other person. On the other nights, we eat either sitting or reclining. Eating means getting spiritual pleasure in the revelations from exile. There is pleasure, and there is what's called external pleasure and essential pleasure. Some people, through their service, get one type of pleasure, while others, we can stand sitting up and leaning over. But others are able, big tzaddikim can get essential pleasure. But tonight, everybody leans over. All the Jewish people attain the future redemption. After this, because that's what the idea of Passover is, preparing for the future redemption. All the Jewish people will attain the essential pleasure in God. So to summarize, on this night, it says we purify ourselves. We'll be this night, talking about the last exile that we're in, purified us totally from our bad. This night activated totally our godly soul. Therefore, there won't be any chometz. On this night, this night aroused us that we'll be tremendously jealous of all the good things that are in other people, the highest levels of holiness that will make us envious. I want to achieve that level also. And all on this, after the exile, every Jew will have tremendous pleasure in God. That's the idea of reclining. Okay, that's today. Let's do yesterday. We'll just go one day back. And we left out a lot of days up to now. Here we go. We'll do one more day here. Yesterday. The Tzemach Tzedek said in 1846, the third Rebbe of Chabad, he said a Hasidic discourse on if you lend money in Kesef Talveat Ami. It was the Torah reading we had yesterday. So, okay, again, everything can be translated into spiritual terms. Lending money, Kesef, the word Kesef refers to the Jewish soul because the word Kesef means also desire. The soul has a desire and a longing to raise up the high. God loans us our soul. This is the idea of the spirit of man rises up. God loans us our soul and our desire to be attached to him. It's a loan. The soul is on loan to man, and it says that we are given days to repay this loan. There's a fixed number of days that each person should live to repay fixed number of days that we have to repay this loan, day by day. If one day is missing, then it says one garment is missing, one aspect of one unit of repaying God is missing. Therefore, we have to do repentance in order to fix it up. But the idea is, Kesef Talveh, God loans us the soul, and we're supposed to repay God every single day for this amazing gift that he gave us by serving him. If we don't do it, so then something is missing, and we have to make that up. It's a loan. The soul is on loan. Here we go. Let's stop this here 1 second. Maybe we'll go back to one more. Huh? Do one more. One day before that. It says, whoever talks, we start off the Haggadah of Passover. It says, whoever speaks a lot, expands, call him marbe zemeshubach. It says, who increases more, talking about the going out of Egypt, this person is praised. It says, ze meshubach, ze. Now, ze is a word which is used to indicate God. Zekili, like it says, Hine Elokeinu Zeh. Behold, this is our God. Zeh. This refers to God because really there's nothing except for God, right? Except it says whoever expands, increases on talking about going out of Egypt and talks about going out of Egypt, the future redemption. It says there's his Zeh, his holiness is enriched. It's increased. Holiness is increased. Okay. Zeh Meshubach. You want to increase your holiness? Talk about Mashiach. Talk about going out of Egypt. All right, now we're going to have a story. Here we go. What are we going to do? What can we do?